Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's product review is going to be on the bareMinerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. I got mine from cosmed.com. I do have a coupon code with them, so if you guys want to save 15% off, then just use the code JUDY15 and you can save 15% off in case you're interested in buying this product or any other products they have on their site. They have a bunch of well-known makeup brands, so definitely go have a look if you're interested in buying some new makeup. I got the shade medium golden. I feel like they have a really good selection of shades. I know on cosmed.com they don't have all the shades, but what I saw, a lot of them were yellow based undertones. I feel like for a lot of face products, especially concealers and foundation, a lot of them are really pink based. When I buy it online and I see the swatch, I'm like, okay, that looks quite yellow based, and then when I get it, it's really pink based. This has a very beautiful yellow undertone and it fits me perfectly, so if you're a similar skin tone to me, then I think this will look beautiful on you. Yeah, I just feel like for yellow under skin tones, they have a good selection for them. So I'm just going to read some of the claims that it says on the box. It says that it's a silky smooth complete coverage concealer and serum in one. It has mineral coated pigments to help brighten and diffuse the appearance of dark circles and imperfections. So yeah, let me talk to you and how I feel about it. I really wanted to use this for a really long time because I was really on and off with this concealer. One minute I loved it, one minute I hated it. It was a whole mess, so it really took me a while to really try it out and see what I truly felt about it. So first off, when I first used it, I really felt like it reminded me of the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. That concealer is like my favorite. I would say the Urban Decay one is more hydrating. It's thinner as well. This one is not thick, but it is thicker than the Urban Decay one. But I just feel like the applicator and the formula is just very similar. This one's just a little bit thicker, and I do feel like this is a little bit more drying than the Urban Decay one. I love how easy it is to blend out. It blends out so nicely, like with the beauty blender. But my under eyes are very dry at the moment. What I like to do is I like to take a beauty blender and spritz it with some water. I use the Smashbox primer water. I like to blend out my concealer with that, and it looks beautiful. You don't see creasing immediately, but I always set my under eyes because I do have like fine lines. I'm so young and I have fine lines under my eyes already, but well, you know, whatever. I don't like to bake. What I do is I get my beauty sponge and then I put it into my translucent powder or any powder, and then I, you know, do that process of baking, but I don't leave it on for a very long time. I wipe it off immediately. So, and that always is like my go-to, you know, that's what I do to set my under eyes. And I feel like when I do it with this concealer, oh, it just looks so crusty and cakey under the eyes. It's like not a good look. I don't know why the first time I used it, it didn't do that. It looked perfectly fine. That's why I was like so in love with it. And the next time I used it, it was so crusty and like cakey. Like I also use this to cover my scars. I have a lot of scars on my cheeks, like around here, on my chin and on my forehead, and I feel like it does a really good job of covering that. And when I set it with powder, it doesn't cake up. It's just really under my eyes and I guess in fine lines. So for this concealer, if you had dry skin, I would say it's a really good concealer to spot conceal. But if you had dry under eyes, then I would just say skip on it. I'm pretty sure you can find another concealer that's not going to do that on you. And I don't think it's my powder either, because I've been using that powder for a very long time. It's that NARS Velvet powder. I have a whole review on it, but I've been using that for a very long time. I had no problem with it. I use it on other concealers, so I don't think it's like the powder. I think it's just that powder going on top of this. But on top of like anything else, like that's not under my eyes, I love it. But if we're going on the other side, if you have oily skin and you have oily under eyes, I think you wouldn't have a problem with it creasing. I just think it's that I just have very dry under eyes. The only time I would recommend this for your under eyes and everywhere else is if you had oily skin, like everywhere. I think this finish is super beautiful. It's just the powder setting it down under the eyes was a big issue for me, but then other than that, I love everything else about it. To wrap things up, the pros of this concealer, I think, one, the color selection is bomb. Well, just for me personally, I've always had trouble of finding a good selection of concealers. It's super smooth and that makes it just 10 times easier to blend. You never want a concealer that is just so hard to blend. And then it has a very beautiful finish. When you apply it, blend it in, it's a very, very beautiful finish, and I like how it does cover up my scars. I wouldn't say it's like a full coverage concealer, like, because you can still see it peeping through, but from if I was to take photos or if I'm like filming, you can't see my scars. And I'm okay with that, you know. And for the cons, I would say this is like a really minor thing, but it doesn't have a stopper. Usually with like concealers, when you pull it out, there'll be like a stopper to like not have so much product come out, but every time I pull it out, there's so much product on it and you don't need a lot. I always gotta wipe it against the cap, and then I just feel like that makes the cap very messy and it just kind of gets everywhere. So I wish it had a stopper, but that's just a very minor detail. That's just me being a clean freak. And the other con is that it does cling on to your fine lines. It does look very crusty when you set it under your eyes. So if you had dry under eyes, I wouldn't recommend it at all. It's not a good look. I mean, I'm wearing it under my eyes now just for the purpose of this video so I can show you guys what it looks like and stuff. But from like far away, from where I can see my viewfinder, it looks fine, but up close it just looks very crusty. So that obviously is a con. Obviously you don't want crusty under eyes. But for everywhere else, like I said, I love it. It's a concealer I wouldn't bake with if I had dry under eyes. If you had oily under eyes, then that's great. I think that will work perfectly fine. I feel like this is concealer for people who have more oily skin than dry skin. To rate this product out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 7. I really do like it. I really like how easy it is to blend on the skin and it covers my imperfections. It's just the under eye, how it creases up and really looks crusty and cakey is the downfall for me. And I feel like for dry skin, people probably wouldn't like this as much. If you're oilier skin, then I think you would love it. But it's just weird to set it. So I'm gonna wrap things up. Let me know in the comments down below whether if you guys tried it or not, if you had a similar situation to me where it creased under your eyes. I would love to know how this worked out for you. Please like this video and show some support. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!